and another one. I can't sound like DJ Khaled, but that's how I feel about Anastasia right now. Buongiorno and welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you're new here. So today we are going to be playing with the Carli Bybel palette. You guys will see why I have that in there. As well as the e.l.f. Nabela collection. So that's just kind of an afterthought. We're going to mainly focus on the palette, but I did kind of want to show you guys that as well because I've been enjoying it. So this is the Carli Bybel palette, 45 bucks. I'm going to do some comparison swatches of the Sultry palette and kind of talk about my thoughts. This was a hard one for me to film for sure, but hopefully you guys enjoy it nonetheless and you find it useful. Without further ado, I'm going to shut my mouth and let's go ahead and get into this video. Please don't forget to subscribe before we get started. Alrighty, so it's been a day already, but anything this week that could go wrong went wrong. So my palette is broken. I got it from Dillard's, and I mean, these just palettes are like super delicate in general, like generally all makeup is, but you can kind of tell like this one got crushed and then this shade got crushed. So I've tried to make it a habit of checking palettes before I get them, but I was so excited I just did not. And it was a very weird shopping experience at Dillard's. So my heart wants to say use the Aura shade, which is like this gold shade, because they're like my favorite. You guys know I love rose golds. All right, I'm gonna dip into, I think I'm gonna use the blues, even though I don't usually do a blue look. I'm just like, all right, out of your comfort zone. We're gonna dip in with Chai, which is like the medium. It's very not mixed with like warm and cool tones. So I'm just gonna kind of tell you guys the names because I'm scared to like flip it up. So I'm gonna go in with Chai, which is right here. But yeah, I don't want the shadows to like get everywhere. I like the design of this palette a lot. Like I think it's a really cute design, but at the same time, like the white, I can already tell from just like the broken shadows getting on it, the white's gonna get so dirty. Like even just, I don't know about you guys, but like I am not destined to have a white anything. I love the idea of it. I'm like, oh, I love a white rug or anything like that. But I know better that like, that's just not, it's not meant for me. You're not meant for nice things. But yeah, I just feel like the palette's going to get so dirty. So just be aware that with white packaging, it's going to happen. All right, not a bad crease shade. Okay, so I think the next shade I'm going to dip into is Bodhi, which is kind of the only brown. It's a very cool tone brown of the palette because I don't really, other than Steve, which is like a burgundy shade, there's not much to deepen it up. So we are going to try out this one. And I'm using, this is the Nabela brush. It's very nice and soft. But yeah, you don't really have a whole lot of options in terms of like deepening up the crease unless you want to go the burgundy route. So this is kind of the only other one you can have. There's like a mauve shade, but not like a deep brown, which is what I feel like would go, like I feel like it's missing. I'm not going to be a negative Nancy though. We will see. I obviously bought the palette, so I really love the packaging of the palette. But it does have like the unique like bluish shade, so that's why I'm like, okay, I know I don't usually go for a blue silver look, but maybe it's just because I haven't found the right palette yet that looks good on my eyes. Okay, maybe it's me, not you. I'm talking to my palette as I'm saying that. Okay, I feel very like neutral-ish, which is fine, but I still want a little bit of something. So I am gonna dip into the shade Cindy, which is the corally shade, and just kind of very lightly like fluff that over. But I could not find, I know that this is available to order online at like Sephora and Ulta, which is where I usually shop for makeup. But you know, like when someone gives you like, you're at like a relative's house for Christmas or something and they give you a random gift card, that's kind of what this was. Like I found a random like gift card to Dillard, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there. And it was the only one that actually had it in stock at the store. Like my Ulta and Sephora didn't have anything, so that is why I went in here. But yeah, I like coral shades, so I'm happy that she included a shade like this. So I think I want to take Moo, which is a goldy shade, and then I'm going to go into that OA shade. So let's go ahead. We're going to wet the brush just because that's what I usually do anyway. And then again, this is the Nabela brush. I love pink brushes, apparently, is what it is. Like, it was 20 bucks. It was like 35 for the whole set. And so I was just kind of like, all right, I really just wanted the lip color. And then I was looking at Ulta and I was like, it was in store and I was like, you know, I could always use more brushes. So that's kind of where that came from. Okay. It's going on, but it's not going on the way that like my normal brush applies it. So I'm going to switch brushes. All right, let's try this on my MAC brush. This is my tried and true brush. Okay, better. So that's a really pretty shade. I really like it. I mean, not unique, but you know, it's gold. And then we'll go in with OA because I am super interested in how the OA shade is going to apply. It looks really pretty. I just don't know. I don't know why. Like, these are the colors that are supposed to look good on my eyes. Like being blue, but I never like them on me. I don't know why. All right, so I'm getting a little bit closer just because I want you guys to see how pretty this shade is, like close up. It has all different kinds of glitter in it, and I feel like it is like a very unique shade. I can't think of one like off the top of my head that I have. Maybe it will come together. Maybe I'll like it in the end. But in terms of like, OA is such a weird, do you guys watch that show? It's a weird show. Like, there's times like even now, like my husband and I will like look at each other and just do this whole like, like it's just, it's the first season I found like super interesting, and then the second season it like kind of lost me. Like, I don't like it when they're following too many storylines, and yeah, I wasn't surprised that it got canceled. Don't kill me for saying that. But I didn't love the second season compared to the first season. Like, the first one was weird, but I'm a little weird, so I was okay with it. But the second season kind of lost me, and I was like, huh. Did you guys watch the show? Do you guys like the show? I'm going to grab Moo with my finger and just see if it intensifies that gold. Because sometimes, you know, fingers are your best tools. Even though I have nails now. I got so many comments about not having my nails done. Now I'm like, do you know how much harder this is? All right, I got a little bit of lower lash line, but I did not put down any powder. And I'm not mad at it. Like, there's no fallout. It is powder in the pan, but like normal Anastasia like fallout. It's not anything like, you know, anything different in terms of like the formula of these types of palettes. So I feel like they're pretty consistent. The only one that I felt like had a problem with was a lot of people have problems with Subculture, which I don't have. So I can't say anything to that, but it's the usual like powder kick up of all the palettes. So I'm going to use Steve, which is the burgundy shade, to smoke out my lower lash line just so we can use another color. But what do you guys think of this palette? Like, I kind of have mixed feelings, like, now that I have it in person, you know? I feel like you're going to really love it or you're not going to really love it. Like, it's just going to kind of be one or the other. I don't feel like it's going to go both ways. But I am happy that this was, like, their last of, like, this was their, well, we'll see. I don't know them, you know? She doesn't call me at home and tell me what's coming out. But I was happy that this was their holiday collection. Like, it came with the glitters and liquid lipsticks, but it wasn't like they're coming out with a whole new other holiday palette. Like, thank goodness, because they need to slow their roll. All right, I'm going to take Chai again that we used in the crease to blend this out and smoke it together. All right, I'm probably going to add a little bit of black to the waterline just because I feel like burgundies sometimes can just make my eyes look like my eyes are already getting red just because they get irritated. But especially with burgundies, I have to be really careful because it can give you that like sick look, you know what I mean? And like I said, there's really not anything deeper I can go in like in between, so I have to use an eyeliner. But I am gonna go ahead and grab Bali for that inner corner highlight. I will say I love that she included the shade Bare, which is like a cream shade, because I feel like so many palettes now don't include like a highlight shade. Like, so she did a good job like choosing like a matte highlight as well as a shimmer highlight. Cause like some days, you know, I want a little shimmer, and then some days I'm like, oh, I just want like a white for the brow bone. So we'll actually just dip into Bare. I use the Anastasia primer, which is why the top of my eyelids are pretty white already, but just to kind of show you guys, like you can use a shimmer or you can use the matte in the palette, which I like that she gives you both options in here. All right, so next I'm gonna dip into the Nabela highlight powder. It is obviously a loose powder, which does get dirty, so they're not my favorite. I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face before I put mascara on, but at the same time, they're usually really pretty. So it's kind of up to you. I've never actually tried Anastasia's loose highlighting powders, so that's why I didn't end up getting one. Or like the set that they just came in. And glitters, I love the idea of them, but do I use them on a normal basis? No. Especially now that we're having like so many palettes that have pressed glitters in them, like the new ColourPop palettes. I just don't feel like I need to like go out and buy a whole set of glitters. Maybe at the Sephora VIB sale, but it like needs to be something I'll reach for, you know what I mean? And you couldn't really tell the shades, like they all look white from the packaging, even though they're not white. So that's why I didn't go with that set. And I'm just not a fan of liquid lipsticks as much as I used to be. Like I like them, but it wasn't like something where I was like, oh, I really need this set. And it came with a metallic, I believe. And I was just kind of like, I'm never gonna wear that. Like Anastasia has gotten so much of my money lately. But this highlight, and I think it's under, I mean, all this stuff like individually for the e.l.f. collection is under 10 bucks. So the highlight reminds me a lot of like high-end highlights, but as well as like Wet n Wild kind of comes to mind too. But this is a gorgeous color. Like I know for sure I will be reaching for this more. So along with the Nabela set, you get a, I was about to say eyeliner. No, you don't. You get a lip pencil and a lipstick. So the lipstick, I've tried it out. It is a little bit drying, and the way it looks in the tube isn't necessarily what I get on my lips. It's definitely a little bit deeper. It's kind of up to you. I'm someone who likes light pinky nudes and a darker lip liner, but it's definitely not, like, it's not bad. It's just not my preferred nude. So the lip pencil, I really like. It obviously is a pencil, so you are going to have to sharpen it, but hopefully you guys can see, like, the detail on the pencil. Like, it's so cute. It says e.l.f. and Nabela, and it's just, like, this really pretty, like, I love the packaging of this whole collection. It's very girly, very pretty, and a little bit more unique. Like, I feel like I can actually find this pencil among my pencils. But the actual pencil color, I really like that it's a warmer shade. This is definitely a pencil I will use on a regular basis. And the lipstick. See, I just feel like it is exactly like my lip color. Not my lip color, but better. Like, just my lip color, which is probably why I don't like it that much. Depending on what you guys like, you may love this lip color. It's just not my shade, you know? But I will probably just dab a lighter nude in the center, and then I'll be good to go. So I'm gonna put mascara on, and then I wanna do comparisons of like the Carli Bybel palette versus the Soft Glam, and just kind of give you my thoughts on whether I think you guys should maybe invest in this compared to the Jackie Aina palette, all that good stuff. So I will be right back. All right, here I go again. Like I said, it's one of those weeks I pressed record and it did not record. So anyways, this is the completed look. I feel like it looks a lot better now that I have mascara. It kind of came together a little bit more. What I wanted to kind of do was do swatches, comparisons of the Soft Glam. I do feel like there's quite a few similarities between the two. So I went ahead and swatched the Soft Glam palette and then the Carli palette. So each shade, the first one is the Soft Glam and then the Carli. And you can kind of see that all the shades are fairly similar. And these are really the shades that I personally reach for. And then of course you have those blues that make the Carli palette different, whereas you don't get any blues in the Soft Glam. So it really kind of depends on what you're into in terms of like the differences, but you do have a lot of very, very similar type tones in here, if you will. Like, I don't think they're going to translate differently on the eyes. And then I did do a few swatches of just the Carli one. I was a little bit let down by the shade Mandela. Like, maybe it will look better on the lid, but it's not looking like it's going to be a stunner, you know? I do want to say congratulations to Carli. Unfortunately, what I will say is I think the packaging deserves like 10 out of 10. I love this packaging. I really, really like it. I like that it's unique. I do think it's going to get dirty. But as far as the overall palette, I just don't see myself reaching for this enough. Let me try to find the protector so it doesn't fall. Okay, so I just don't see myself, like, when looking at the palette, I don't think I really thought it like all the way through in terms of the shades. Like, I feel like Steve, that really pretty red shade that I used on my lower lash line, doesn't really flow into the rest of the colors. There's not really anything to deepen up your outer V with. I love that she included the 2 highlight shades. Like, I like that she included the cream like matte shade and she included like a shimmer one. But I wish there were more shades to blend things out. Like, I don't think it's going to work across every skin tone. It's a pretty palette, and I think if you love Carli, you will enjoy the palette a lot. But as far as I go, I'm not blaming it on the broken shades. Like, I feel like that's just how things go. I've experienced it with every brand. But I just don't think that, like, there's enough warm shades to go with the warmer side as well as the cool shades. Like, I don't feel like it's as cohesive as I want it to be. And sometimes I can look at a palette and think that, and I use it and I'm like, no, actually this goes great together. But I didn't feel that way with this one. So I feel like I would have to reach for another palette to do what I want it to do. I'm also a warm tone lover. So I'm not saying it's a bad palette. The formula wise, it's totally fine. I just think that with the soft glam in mind, this isn't one I'm going to reach for over that, because I'm going to have to pull in other palettes. And just remember, makeup's all preference. So if you don't like, if you think you'll love it, you probably will. Formula-wise, it's fine. It's more so the fact that, like, I needed something a little bit more cohesive that I could deepen up the crease with. So that's kind of my thought on it, and it is pretty similar to the soft glam. I feel like in her head, though, this is very Carli. You know what I mean? Like, she loves neutral glam looks, so I think she probably had a tough time trying to decide, like, how to make it different from Anastasia's already existing collection, So I don't fault her for that by any means, but me personally, I'm a little bit not as into the palette as I want it to be. Okay, so that's kind of what I think of the palette. In terms of the Nabela collection, I really like it. The brushes aren't like, they're e.l.f. brushes, you know what I mean? So I really love the color. I didn't have any shedding. I've been using these the last few days. We'll see what happens when I wash the brush and see if I get pink everywhere. But if I were going to recommend anything from the line, you do get this like little purse thing in it. It's $35 for a full set. So you get the brushes, which is like 5 different brushes. You get the highlighting powder and the lip pencil as well as the lipstick. The lip pencil and the highlight are definitely my favorites. I'll still get used out of these brushes. They ain't no Sonia G brushes. But between washes, I like having an abundance of brushes. I also have my makeup room, and then I have brushes in my room, like in my bathroom where I get ready. So I just think the color is just really, really pretty. And I just love the way that she designed this whole collection. I really like the packaging as well and the products. So that whole set was $35, but you can buy each one individually. So I would definitely look into it. How many times can I say so? But yeah, that's kind of it for me. Let me know if you guys agree. To me, if you were trying to think of which collab to buy that Anastasia's come out with, I would go with the Jackie Aina palette. It just has, I feel so bad saying that. For me personally, this would be my preference over that one. I've gotten so much use out of this, and I just feel like the tones are just more cohesive together. I prefer this one. I feel bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, but yeah. That is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know all your thoughts. What do you guys think the palette? That OA shade is gorgeous. If I could buy that in a single, I probably would. But yeah, that's it for me. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Just be nice. Remember, you can like something I don't like. It's okay. All right, and I'll see you guys in the next video.